I knew her and I was like, do, 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 do. And all of a sudden my boyfriend walked in. He goes, don't you have a live stream right now? And I'm like, yeah, at 3:30. He goes, you know what time it is? I'm like, yeah. And then all of a sudden I was like, yeah. So there you go. That's why I'm late. You're welcome. This is what you get when you work with me.
It's all good. You keep me on the edge of my seat. I was just like, oh, well, let me just call her and see if, if she's just strolling. Maybe she's preparing herself a cup of coffee. Who knows? It's just one of those things. But I even called Mike. I say, yo, have you talked to Syya in the last few minutes?
Well, so you're welcome, everyone. Live streams are the joys about live stream is it's live. And
It
so
is.
I'm going to ask very kindly everyone in the chat, please give Raquel some love because I gave her a massive panic attack.
Yeah, you really did, love. But it is like you say, it is part of the trick of the trade. Who was the first comment? I think it's Mary Baker, right? That was the
Mary
first
Baker
comment.
said, hi, hey, yo.
Hey everybody. I love seeing everybody pulling up, and thank you so much guys for always joining and supporting. This is what makes my heart go pitty patter and continue and doing everything that I can to make sure that this space stays alive. So I think it was Mayor Baker. Hey, I'm so happy. You were the first comment this time around. Hey, girl. Well, by the way, I did chat with Mary Baker this week, and it was so amazing. Like, I love her accent. I really do. It's one of those things that I really
Oh my
do.
God, that's hilarious.
But anyhow, how was it? But anyways, how was your shower? Was it very relaxing? Were you just thinking happy
It
thoughts,
was.
warm and fuzzy feelings? What was it? I mean, you were just there forever.
I was. I'm not kidding. I swear to God. You know what it was? Because originally we had it for
Hmm.
4, right? And so in my head, I think I just kept singing 4, not 3:30. So that's why I was like, chillax. I mean, I am so chillaxed right now. I feel bad for you, babe. Sorry about that, but I'm not really sorry because I think it's
Visualizing,
hilarious.
manifesting the Zens. She was just like, suspended in the air. Zzz. I was like, where is my director? But give me
Look,
some of
people,
that Zen this way.
I am so like literally like if I didn't know any better, like, I'm very much in my Zen state right now. So, how's your Saturday going?
Well, besides the fact that I was about to have a mini heart attack over here, I think it's going fantastic. And look at all the comments. Hey, we're getting people. Ken Dunner.
Well, savor the flavor.
I know, and I still want my cheesecake, my sweet potato cheesecake. You still haven't given it to me. Susanna. Oh, look at her. I also talked to her this week. I'm so excited. We'll chat about that later. Oh, it's spicy. Yes, this is going to be super spicy today. I'm so excited for our guest today. She's amazing. So, y'all have quite a show coming up. But, anyhow, since we always forget to roll in the intro, do you want to go ahead and do it now?
Oh my God. I know. We're like 0 for like 10. I am the best ever, aren't I? All right, let's get this going.
Let's go, guys.
Hey y'all, welcome to my corner. This is your girl Raquel, aka Raki. Step into our world of connections where I'm a proud Hounds of Business Pack leader, which is a community of entrepreneurs committed to sharing positivity, growing together, and never forgetting to inject some fun. Get to know amazing people in this safe space, so come and join me in my connection corner.
And I'm jamming, and I'm jamming, and I'm jamming, girl. It always does the same thing. I don't know if it does for you, but I
I
can't
love
help it. I
I
can't
love
help
it.
it.
No, it's got a cool vibe to it. That's what I like. That's like it's got like this like it's energetic but chillaxing at the same time. Kind of like how I'm feeling. Not you. Me.
Yes,
I'm
thanks for the
sorry, girl.
reminder there, Director Extraordinaire. Jeez, talk
I
about rubbing it in my
I know.
face.
I'm so sorry. I am laughing. I am so sorry. You don't understand how like literally, just do you ever just like it's almost like what it is when you're just rocking it, you're feeling good about yourself, and then like you do this amazing meeting in front of all these executives, and then you walk out and someone's like, dude, awesome job. Hey, do you want me to tuck in that tag that's like sticking out right now?
Oh
Like
my
it's that
God.
feeling where you're like, oh shit, shoot,
Shoot,
sorry.
shoot, ish. No,
Sorry.
I completely understand it. But like again, we're here. We're gonna rock it. And so talking about rocking it. One of our big people in our community, right? So I wanted to give a shout out to Michael Gale. So he has something going on this week or this coming up week, and I'm excited for everybody to be able to join. So I don't know if you're able to pull up his information. But yes, so he has a session, a free Pilates session, virtual, obviously, going on February the 20th. It's at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time and 5 p.m. Eastern. And man, I'm telling you, we had quite the time doing this free session. Or actually, the session that we had with him, which is the primer. It was called the primer, and it was quite the workout. Even though if it was just 10 minutes, like I felt out of breath, and I was just like, what was this? How did you feel
Yeah.
about that?
Dude, okay, first of all, I didn't know what the hell you were doing. And so I didn't cuz okay, so everyone that wasn't here was it last weekend? Oh my god, it feels like so long ago. I'm not a Pilates
Yeah.
person, and so we were a good like 6 feet away, at least, away from
Yes.
the laptops. We couldn't read anyone's comments, and I don't know what the hell's going on, but apparently, like Randy House, like, and Syya doesn't know left and right. Apparently, I just kept going. Yeah, it was pretty
Yes.
funny.
Yes, no, for real though. But it was quite the workout. That was my first time ever doing Pilates. I know I've been living under a rock, but to the point that I'm driving is it's such a workout, but it doesn't really feel like you're doing much, and
Yeah.
it's so good. I was sore like the next day. I was like, why am I feeling like this? And then I was like, oh yeah. And then we also did the polar plunge, so that added some of that to the body, right? But anyhow, so Michael Gale, amazing person, one of the amazing pack leaders too in our
Mhm.
pack. So he has a free Pilates session, virtual, on February the 20th at 4 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Girl, I always get messed up with these Central Standard, Pacific, all these times. Yes, it's right there. You can always follow him too on his LinkedIn. Michael Gale. You can always find him too, and we'll share the link as well in the post. But anyhow, so also the leader, the main one, are literally like our first one who started everything. A shout out to you, Mike Asherbranner. We love you. We got love for you, boy. So what does he do? There you go. His show is always on Wednesdays, all right, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. He has a Hounds of Business happy hour. And tell us a little bit about what he does in that show, Sia.
He toilet papers a lot of people's shows, that's for sure, that's one thing, that's his new I've decided, I told him, I go, "Hey, dude, every time you go on someone's show, you gotta toilet paper it." And what are we talking about on that? What we're talking about is, like, he got a cold, like, last week, and he used a roll of toilet paper to wipe his nose with, and it's totally on brand with Mike. He's a very humble, very Kentuckian, down to earth, you're you're very stereotypical, redneck financial advisor and overall networking extraordinaire.
Yes, absolutely. I call him Magic Mike, amongst other names that I do, nicknames that he's done. But he's just an amazing individual who started this community. And like I said, this is just fantastic. I cannot thank him enough for giving me the opportunity to be here, for being able to create this whole thing, my own thing in my own little corner that continues pretty much fundamentally his legacy of what it was made for, right? Which is connecting everyone, being this community that really looks out for one another and supports one another, genuinely. So we love you, Mike. Thank you so much. Okay, girl. So let's do a couple more shout outs. I don't want to keep everyone waiting for for a wonderful guest. So a couple more shout outs. Yes. So Mary Baker and Susanna Dawn, these were the individuals who won the coffee chats with me from last week. And I think those two, right? Yes, yes, yes. That's what it was. Mary Baker, she is the newest member of our pack, of our Hounds pack in the Nest. And so welcome. We love you. You're amazing. I cannot get over her accent for
I
absolutely.
haven't had a chance to talk to Mary yet, so I am like dying here. I want to hear this accent. I'm envious.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. It's just like you thought Mike, had that distinct accent. Mary's accent is so enthralling. Like really, I'm always like, just keep talking. Keep talking. I love it. I love it. It's different. I haven't heard one. So
Uh,
I haven't
yeah.
heard like that. So Mary, I had the pleasure of speaking to her yesterday, and I love her energy and everything that she has going on. So maybe, hey, maybe we'll just have these wonderful, amazing ladies here in the show soon. Who knows, right? And then also Susanna Dawn, amazing story. Oh my gosh, like I cannot tell you how amazing her story is. And I also talked to her yesterday, and it's just sending you guys lots of love. I love y'all. You guys are just fantastic women, just setting example, being role models. You've had a chance to also talk to Susanna, right?
I have had a chance to talk to Susanna, and by the
Yes.
way, talk about, like, just, like, literally just getting outside the box. Get outside of your life box that you've
Hmm.
created and creating a
Yes.
new. Susanna is a writer. She has a wonderful story. I don't wanna steal her thunder, but I'm sure,
Yes. Yes.
we'll have her on at some point and talk about it because she's just amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And it's definitely is one of those stories that it inspires people. So thank you, ladies, for giving me the opportunity to chat with y'all and grow together, support one another, collaborate, because this is what it's about. It's about spreading those inspiring stories, inspirational stories for other people to wake up and snap out of it and go out there and conquer the world, right? So anyhow, I want to say, I saw Mike saying hi. Hi, boo.
About
so
time you
I,
got here. Just kidding,
I
Mike.
know, right? Right. I know. But anyhow, so before we bring up our guest, I just wanted to say that she is an amazing individual that I met through this who I met through this platform. I met so many of you through this platform, and this speaks to the power, right, of what this platform can give you if you use it the right way. So, without further ado, let me just bring her up, girl. Let's bring up this amazing Caribbean Cali, South Cali woman, Neela.
What's up,
Woo!
everyone? What's up? Happy
There we
Saturday.
go. Happy Saturday to you too, love. I know you're 2 hours before me, so it's like your noon or your afternoon over there. But how are you feeling today? How are you doing?
I'm really nervous. I'm really, really, really nervous. I'm sitting here, I'm like sweating. I'm like, ugh,
Not at all. What are you sweating about? What are you nervous about?
all these people. No, I'm just kidding. I'm fine. It's Saturday. I'm just
Gir
happy the weekend is here.
Hey, at least you're on time.
You
I am
you said it,
always on
Sia.
time.
I know. I suck. I suck on that. I know.
You said it, Sia, definitely. But so let me see. This woman right here, she's just so amazing. I know we met through on this platform. I can't pinpoint exactly, Neela, how we met, but I remember I remember commenting on something that you posted. But go ahead.
We connected on August the 26th, 2022.
Dang, she has a date.
Right, and it was on a mutual post, and we started like commenting on each other's posts, and I think we did like a coffee chat 3 weeks later, right?
Mhm.
And what really stood out to me is that you were super busy, you were on your way to get the kids, but you were so apologetic because you were running a few minutes late, and I was like, don't worry about it, we can reschedule because I get it. And then you're just like, no, I appreciate everyone's time. I appreciate your time. And I thought that was like super amazing because what I've found is that people are not really so appreciative of time. And as an individual, I mean, that was amazing to me because you had a lot going on and you just accommodated me, and that stood out. And I think I never really looked back after that. It was the support that I feel from you was tremendous after that.
Yes, and I remember one of the things that struck me about you is obviously, you mentioned that people kind of singled you out for your background in the sense of like culturally and where you're from. And I was just like, no, you embrace that, girl, embrace it to the full essence and write about it. And I remember you made a post and it was like, I think it was the start of your visibility and just your blossoming.
Yeah, I talked about my Trinidadian accent and how it was a huge deterrent for me to move forward. And people will tell me, I sound uneducated and, I needed to change the way that I interacted and if I wanted to move forward. And I tweaked the way that I speak for the most part. But I found that the way to really move forward is to stand out. Like, why would you want to camouflage and why would you want to fit in? You need to make things different. And so that's where the spicy leadership came in because I used my background, my love of food, and I created techniques and leadership that makes a difference. I see it making differences every single day.
And I applaud you for that. Remember in that post, and I remember commenting, and I said, "Don't shy away from that. That's who makes you. That's what makes you different. That's what sets you apart from everybody else on this platform who is doing the same thing." And I love the fact that you say it's spicy leadership, like it really is, and you walk the like you literally you talk the walk and walk the talk, right? You do it in such a finessed way and in a distinct way that it really starts resonating and it starts paving ways for others. You're like, you know what? Let me be bold. Let me be different. Let me be who I am on this platform and I'll get accepted. So I commend you for that. But I know it hasn't been easy, right?
It hasn't. It's been challenging. For me, social media is very new. I've never really put myself out there. And so, I've gotten a lot of feedback, but I've gotten a decent amount of pushback as well, uh, because there's still the archaic ways of thinking about leadership, right? And so the platform has changed. We have a new set, we have the millennials, we have Gen Z in the workplace. We need to be able to capture all of that creativity. And so leadership is no longer a title. You need to roll your sleeves up and you need to get in there. And you're not really responsible or in charge. You're responsible for those in your charge. So you're not responsible for operational processes. You're responsible for your people and taking care of your people, which is a different perception altogether.
Yeah, and again, it speaks back to that spicy leadership that you have and what sets you apart. So, how did you come up with this concept? Like, how was it born? Because I'm really interested in finding that out.
So I have a tremendous respect for food. And for me, these leadership concepts that I'm trying to advocate for, it's not new. It's things that have worked before, case studies. There are companies like Apple have used them and they work very well. I mean, look at the layoffs that you're seeing now. Apple has not laid off their staff. They have run lean thus far because they have some of the best hiring practices there is. But spicy leader, how to stand out in the crowd is just by branding and rebranding. And I pitched the spicy leadership technique to a few of my referrals, CEOs, startup companies, which is primarily my audience, and they found it very intriguing. So picture food. If you put too much of spice into it, you have a problem. So you need to have the right amount of leadership. You need to understand your team, and the leadership really makes a difference. So strong leaders can enhance a team. Too much control, too much micromanagement can kill a team culture, which is the whole theory of spicy leadership.
So, I know that you trademark that because I see that as trademarked. So you're also pretty much a specialist in doing that, correct?
Yes.
For businesses.
Yes, I've done maybe 122 trademarks over a period of my career, but it's something that I've learned on my own. And a lot of people don't understand you can trademark your stuff yourself and you don't have to pay an attorney $2,000. You can get it. You pay the fees to the trademark office. And it takes like an hour, but you need to know what to do. You need to make sure that you're compliant and all of that stuff. But yeah, I've learned that when you figure something that works and something that speaks to you, go trademark it because someone else will figure that stuff out too.
Well,
So,
I mean, I'm gonna have to get together with you, girl, because I need to train my some stuff.
right.
And it's authenticity, right? Because it really is who you are. It speaks to you, and I'm so happy that you were able to find a way to, spicy leadership. That will catch my attention anywhere, right? Because it's different. You're being
Yeah,
bold. You're putting yourself out there, and it really describes how you lead, who you are as a person.
it does. It is my personality. I it's weird because a lot of us say we're authentic on the platform, but I'm really who I am. I'm a
Mhm.
little bit filtered because I really like my LinkedIn account and would not want to get banned for any reason. But I try to portray the way that I am, and that's exactly the way that I am. Um, Even, for example, the social serving aspect of it, you know, um, using the platform to help job seekers, to help new
Mhm.
creators, and really listen to people, because there is a fair amount of angst and anxiety out there. Job seekers are not being visible. They're just being suppressed. It's like it's very so just doing a little bit to raise their visibility and just let them know, listen, I see you. Even if you're not going to get hired from these posts, I see you, I hear you. And that's really what it is about. So social serving for me is really using the platform to elevate people in some small way, and just let them know they're being seen and heard.
Well, let me tell you, it's not a small way. Okay, let me commend you for what you're doing. And I know I've spoken to you about this offline, and I've told you like I'm so not surprised, but I'm just in love with the fact that what you're doing is raising others. And that's another thing term you coined and trademark, which is social serving, right? And I just think the concept is so amazing, and it speaks to what's in the heart, and it speaks to how you lead, how you're leading as a leader in your industry, but also outside of that, you really are helping individuals, raising them up, right?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff we don't see in the comments. A lot of the action really happens in the DMs and the coffee chats that, happen after the fact. Um, so really trying to get that part across, that's yes, we're using LinkedIn to make money and grow businesses, but there is an aspect to community that's sort of like interlinked with leadership, because in leadership you're building a community. On LinkedIn, you're building a community. The concept is the same. And you're using trust, you're developing safety for people to connect with you. And that's shared relationship, shared vision, shared values, all of that stuff. It's the same concept of leadership.
Absolutely. I mean, I completely agree with you on that, hands down, just because, it's for me, and I take it in my own terms, in the sense of what feeds my soul at the end of the day is how many lives have I been able to impact with what I'm doing, right? Every step that I make, I always trying to make sure that I'm not hurting anyone in my path, that as opposite on the other end, that I'm helping somebody by a comment that I may make, by a question that I may answer, by being present for somebody in a coffee chat, right? Or just doing one of these shows. I may be able to answer somebody's question or a doubt or something that will take them to the next level. Like I always think that way, and it continues. It gives me that fuel to continue. And I see the same in you, Neela. Like I see you day after day supporting, showing up for individuals. And I think you have that, the social serving, you are the epitome of that and the role model of that. And I wish and I hope people will listen and take akin to that and just continue that same legacy that you're leaving.
Yeah, because it's a give and take. It's a paid forward system. There is enough success on this platform to go around, and we cannot be in competition with each other. We need to look at ourselves, and we need to level up with ourselves. And I truly believe that. And we'll fail, we'll succeed, we learn from our failures, but we move forward and we just keep moving forward. And that's the best way that I can describe it. Building trust is important, and I'll use this example. Our kids are supposed to be, the most important things in our lives, right? And I'm going to use this as a parallel to leadership and the way we perceive job seekers as well. So we're going out on a date night and we have our kids and we're trying to get someone to babysit our kids. And we have two options. We have the 15-year-old neighbor who we know for 15 years old, but she has very little experience babysitting. And then we have option two, the 35-year-old neighbor who just moved in 2 weeks ago. We don't know where she comes from. We don't know her background, but she has 10 years of experience with babysitting. Who would you choose? Would you choose the neighbor that you know, or the lady with the 10 years of experience? I'll go with the neighbor, the 15-year-old. And it's because of that trust, that safety, that shared value. And it's the same thing with hiring, with leadership. Like we're focusing so much on resumes and we're not looking at people and their background and how their personalities and how their cultural differences may contribute positively to work environments. So
Absolutely.
that's all encompassing in my spicy leadership.
No, and I think you brought up a very important point that most of the time gets disregarded, right? Because when you're looking at a resume, you really can't see personality, you really can't see authenticity and all. It's like you really cannot humanize the process. And I wish more individuals, more companies, more entities would actually allow that. And through a resume, you really can't. So, and I'm sure you see it. I'm sure you've heard the frustration from so many individuals who they don't get the chance, right? Because they don't have the expertise on paper, but they
Yeah.
have years of experience, whether it's life through trauma, whatever it is that they can learn to do the tasks that are required for a specific job position, but they don't get the chance because they're simply not, they don't have it on down on paper. And it's sad because you're seeing that every single day. And what are some of the things that you're hearing from job seekers? Like, they're so frustrating that it's
It,
just people that you
yeah, people are, I've interacted with a few people, they're at the homeless point. They're just not sure, their unemployment benefits, which is so woefully small, it's at its end. It's like, where are the jobs? There's a huge disbelief about those job figures, like where are those jobs? um but there's a lot of anxiety on this platform, and you get it in the DMs. Like, I had a couple people comment on my posts, and they were very, just the way that they were coming across, you can tell they were really desperate. I spoke to a couple of my connections, and they were just like, I'm just losing it, Neela. So how do you help people like that? And we, as leaders or recruiters or hiring managers, we need to stop moving that goalpost a little bit further. We need to have a little bit more empathy. Not because we have the technical processes mean we should use them. There needs to be a humane impact on the process of hiring. That needs to come back. That needs to be fixed. It's broken.
Yeah, and I think Syya, you came up. I know you have something to say. So yeah, go for it. Oh, you're muted, honey.
I knew that. Damn it, Janet. I knew that.
Yes,
I was
ma'am.
just gonna say I really don't have a question, but I do know Nadine has a question. So she's like, I'm right there with you. We're a little bit behind. So just so you guys know, because you're amazing and the comments are flying. But do you ever feel consumed by this awareness? So
Yeah,
making a positive change each day is harder than we make it sound. That saying, easier said than done.
yeah, it's easier said than done. And a lot of the pushback that I get is that you need buy-in. You need buy-in from higher leadership in order to make these processes work. And if you don't get that, it's just not going to work. So there needs to be a mindset change. So usually at that point of a discovery call, I would tell them, listen, I cannot help you if you don't help me. And this needs to happen if this needs to work. But you need to understand that it will impact your bottom line. It will affect your brand positively. It would affect, you would just make money. Your company would be successful. Startups, it's a $4 trillion business, but 90% of them fail in the first 2 years. And there's a reason for it. It's just a broken leadership process, broken processes. And I am very passionate about it because I've faced good leadership, but I've faced a lot more bad, toxic leadership.
Oof.
And, it affected me in a lot of ways. I've seen it affect people. But there is a way, there is always a better way. And you can tell me, I'm very passionate about fixing this thing. It has to be fixed.
A
Um,
passionate powerhouse, may I add.
yes.
Ooh, that's a new passionate powerhouse. I love that. That's a
Trademark
good
that.
tagline.
Trademark that.
Someone write that down. Someone write that down for us.
I just did.
We're taking notes. Yes, passionate powerhouse. I'm telling you, I think you need to trademark that.
For
Yeah.
sure,
Thank
for
you later.
sure. No, there's some like really interesting tidbits that are coming down the chat here that again, I'm trying to keep up with you guys. I'm sorry. Everyone read on the right-hand side. Just full disclosure, because we have shared this stream. If you happen to be in a stream and no one else is like commenting back, It's because everyone's looking at the mainstream here. Keep commenting and I'll keep trying to share it so you are part of the conversation, everyone. So I do want to add Mary's on a paired stream. So she did ask, or she did comment that Rob was talking about a lot of human dignity. And then she adds this tidbit that I did not realize, you guys. Reddit gets 3,000 resumes in 2 days.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I understand the need for automation. I understand the need for leveraging, AI for a lot of different things, but there's still very much that human element. There just has to be. Um, Otherwise, man, I mean, then you play the game like the algo game. Then I'm gonna start hashtagging everything just to get the AI happy.
Yeah, I mean, there needs to be closure with the hiring process, and I understand to some extent with this, workload, it's not realistic to reach out to everyone. But for me, I feel like these things come back to haunt you.
Right.
We have to be humane in the way that we handle people because it comes full circle. It really, really does.
Yeah.
And I've done hiring at a very, I've gotten hundreds of resumes a day, but
Mm.
I would always reach out to people, give them a call. Do you want to get some feedback on the phone? Call me and we'll set up a call. I'll have a conversation with them. I don't think I can ever be accused of not giving someone closure with a job that they
Ugh.
applied for. Um, and it is a lot of work, but that's what I'm getting paid for. So, there needs to be some sort of accountability with the way we treat people. Yes, we're using technology, but there is an HR humane aspect to hiring. And it's people's lives, feelings, people blame themselves when they
Yes.
don't get a job. And most of the times it's due to things that they're not in control of
Right.
or they're not understanding. And without understanding that piece, they blame themselves. So in order for humanity to survive anything, we need to treat each other respectfully. That's
Absolutely.
really as simple as it is.
It boils down to that, and I concur with everything that you're saying, Neela. And my thing is, how do we humanize that process, right? And that's the constant battle that everybody has. How do you help that person once they get rejected? Obviously it affects their mental health, right? And mental health is such a huge topic right now. So what are some examples of the stuff that you do? I know you just mentioned something that you get on the phone with them, right? And that must be draining for you too.
Um, yes, but it's worth it though, because when people fall into that gloom and doom pattern, they fall into that hole. It's very difficult to pick them up. And I've been there a few times already, so I understand. But what is the alternative? And so you get them to look at what they have accomplished. Understand that they need to have mental breaks. They need to focus on their health. I encourage them to go to music. I love music. Music is a way for me to decompress. And it really, really works for me. I get up in the morning, I go to my soca music, which is very happy music, but really trying to figure out ways in which they can be happy. What are some things that make you happy? Hobbies, people, support groups, just having those things are important. And trying to get people to engage is important.
I think it's really important that I guess when I used to be a hiring manager, and I used to do is I'd give feedback, like not just I'm sorry the job isn't available for you or you're not a good fit, but it was really like the constructive, hey, just human to human. If I can give you a bit of advice, because people don't know how they perform in an interview. They don't consider other things like I like body language. I'm a huge advocate for body language. And so, how do you exude confidence, even if it's something that you're unsure about? There was a comment that was above that I thought was fascinating. I think it was Mary Baker, who, by the way, Mary, my God, girl, you're like talking like fire, rapid fire. Is people will often apply, and women are notorious for this. Jobs are way overqualified for. Like women expect it, like, oh, if I don't hit every single check mark, I'm not applying for it. Men, typically vice versa. But I find this fascinating. Have you ever had someone that was overqualified And how did you let them, I don't want to say let them go, but was they were just simply overqualified for the position?
It really comes back to what you're trying to achieve. And so tying the job description to what you're trying to achieve in the job makes a big difference. I would just say that, I've found experience here, it's a little bit not deficient or lacking because words do matter, but I would always encourage people to, even if you're not qualified, if you're 70% there, apply for the job, because you'll get bored. If you know everything on the job, you will eventually get super bored. So it's like really important that you want to have some type of learning curve. Because for me, at the end of the day, if I'm not going home with some sort of learning, then I'm not going to be stimulated. But rejections are hard. And a lot of people don't do them because it opens themselves up for possible lawsuits if you say the wrong things. But
Yeah.
I would always, for me, the point of having that conversation is to say, hey, listen, maybe you should, focus on these types of jobs, or maybe this is what we're looking for. And, maybe you didn't meet the criteria here or there, but what you say makes a difference because words do matter.
Absolutely. And I mean, looking at what Timothy Gleason is saying here, it says closure after a job interview is essential. Don't leave them guessing.
Yeah.
And it's so important, right? It goes back down to that human side. Like, this is a person. This is just not a number. It's not just a paper. It's a person behind that effort, that they're really trying to make it out there in life, right? And if we can offer some piece of advice or some feedback, which usually they don't ask for it because they can't, and why not? Why not help them to the next step, right? Even if they were not a match to us, we just give them a little something that they can
Something.
get on, right?
Yeah. It just, like even like a project management position, you have the experience. Some employers, they want that actual certification, which is very competitive. And for me, it's golden. The project management certification is golden. So they may have lost out on that job because they didn't have the actual certification. And then you would say, well, here, this is the criteria for one of the contracts that I maintain. You need like a high level of security clearance in order to work on some of those contracts. And so some of the things that is disqualifying is maybe along that criteria and not along the job requirements per se. It's not in terms of the skill or the qualification, it's just lacking in that clearance. But giving that person that feedback makes them feel better because it's like a formality or red tape. It has nothing to do with me and what I'm capable of doing. So those types of little things do make a big difference.
Oh, I can't agree more. Or wait, can't agree. Yeah, I can't agree more. How to figure those terms. You know what I find fascinating too, is I think we need to remember too, especially for those that are on the market again, and if you've been around in 2006, 2007, 2008, especially when there's a lot of layoffs going down, um, do you remember that a lot of these job descriptions are often wish lists? So again, what they're trying to do is, we would love it if you had this because this is our unicorn person. But remember, the odds are high. The pay is not going to be, equitable. So if you know that you check off everything, the odds are high that it's probably going to be jack pay. Personally,
Yeah,
I mean,
go ahead.
No, go ahead, Leela.
I wrote about this last week. I saw a couple of job ads that I lifted off a website, and they asked for rock stars and unicorns, and they talked about family, and nowhere there was listed compensation. And at the end of it all, the owner was saying, "Well, go ahead and submit a video." And he did an intro video, and he was like, "Yeah, we treat employees like family, blah blah blah." Come on, you're asking, an interview is a two-way street. I'm interviewing you, you're interviewing me. At least that's the way it should be perceived. So you're asking people to have an investment in your business, send a video, but you're not even putting compensation or benefits. So what is in it for them? And so I'm curious about this company and how their feedback, if they're getting any good hits. And I have some inside information that they're not. And I wonder why. And so we need to like kind of figure out your words mattering. The job descriptions, it just needs to be a little bit more realistic.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think you've hit so many key points and so many key truths there that it really emphasizes the reality that some people are having to go through right now. And it's sad because you want to help everybody, right? I mean, knowing you, knowing Syya, knowing me, like we really want to help individuals, but it's just so many who are on the same boat, so many in different situations out there. So what do you think are some of the challenges that put people back, right? Besides that whole automation thing, everything that is going on, the whole process. But besides that, like, what are some of the challenges that people are facing?
So not getting visibility. They have to deal with a lot of technological systems like Workday and ATS systems, which you can utilize just, for the amount of resumes that you're getting and applications that you need to handle. You need to have those systems in place. But humanely using technology is key. Not because a process is available means we should use it every single time. And a lot of the hiring managers, they're not really getting mandates, resources, tools, mentorship, training that's needed. They're not hiring with empathy. So that is needed from leadership to filter down into these hiring managers. They just know what they know. And there are quite a bit of good recruiters in my network who do the work. So if they can do it, anyone can do it. But if you look at where they're getting their training from, it is, they're being supported, they're being invested into to do a better job at hiring, because hiring people for the right seats, turnover costs is rarely tracked. And that can get really, really pricey. Like all of those layoffs that just happened, if you don't take care of your surviving people, the survivors, you will have a problem because they're running scared, they're anxious, they're not being mentored, and they're just feeling like they should be grateful for their job. Most of them would not get a raise in salary or anything. So how do you motivate those people there? A lot of these companies would face a productivity hit. It would, it would filter on into clients. It will filter down into their bottom line. So layoffs, yeah, cost saving, sure, but you will end up paying a lot more out of pocket there.
Mm-hmm. See, I see kind of like you want to say something.
No, I am feeling it. I'm like right there. You know what? Here, look. Here, I actually left this one up there a little bit longer from Benita because I do
Mhm.
feel very strongly that we don't talk about our compensation. At least in America, it's a you don't. It's a taboo conversation that we don't necessarily share. What we make, for a living. So I find this fascinating. Do we and should we have pay transparency, or is it something that should be kept private and that's based on how well you negotiate for yourself?
You should have pay transparency. Absolutely. I advocate for it. It alleviates time wasting. It's just on so many levels. I'm actually toying with an idea right now that we should have everyone on my team for the contract that I'm have that transparency with paychecks and just see how it affects each other. Because what we try to do is build camaraderie between team members and synergy. And I think it's that assumption of he's making more than I am and she's making more than I am. It builds into a silo that we're kind of like noticing in the product teams, especially. So the only way to break that down is to maybe open those floodgates and see what happens. It may come back to bite us in the ass, but
Mhm.
at least I want to see what happens. And if it works, it can be applied everywhere else.
And
Transparency is important.
yeah, absolutely. And sometimes when it comes to that, and asking what we deserve first, we sometimes are the worst advocates for our own selves. And we just feel like we're asking too much. And I'm like, no, you know your worth. You know what you can bring to the table. Then you ask for that. So having said that, we talked about the negatives and all the stuff that is going on behind the scenes with the job market and job seekers. What are some tips that you can share with them, that would, obviously motivate them to continue? And I mean, I wish everybody would be able to be hired, but what are some tips that you can share with them?
Uh,
Just to, mhm.
for me, I would always encourage people to go level up on skills, learn processes like lean and agile and project management, because everything you do in a company is project related, and it is a skill that people, at least hiring managers, look at. It will give you an edge, and you don't need to go spend a lot of money to get these skills. There's a lot of Coursera's there, Udemy's there. It will give you a start that you need, that you can actually say, I can apply it here, I can apply it there. So sort of like leveling up the skills, getting trained on things. YouTube is a great resource. I know it's underrated, but you can find, most of the things that I do, I don't pay subtitle and all of those things. I go in and I learn how to edit my videos and how to add captions and things like that. Just having a more, diverse and more robust resume will help you, because your full picture should be considered when applying for a job, not just what you have on paper, but all of your soft skills and all of the additional things that you do, all of the hobbies, all of those things just help. So keep learning, keep making yourself more marketable, even though you may feel like it's not being visible. The right company will eventually notice you.
Oh
Can
my
I
gosh.
shift? Can I shift this conversation just slightly?
Yes,
Because
go
Mary
ahead.
posted another question that I thought was, I think it'd be a very interesting conversation, which is, Neela, what are your thoughts on unlimited PTO and forcing people to take a percentage of PTO each quarter? This is near and dear to my heart, so I'd love to hear your response on this.
Okay, unlimited PTO is a shit show. Every single time I was given unlimited PTO, I could never take it. It just never was available, because there you roll out an unlimited PTO system, but there is no process on when you should take it, how, criteria. There's just nothing there. And so you're working 80 hours a week and you tell your boss, well, I'm going to take my unlimited PTO. I'm, doing a week off. And this has happened to me before. And I'm in Trinidad with my family, who I see like once a year, once every 2 years. And I'm getting phone calls and all of this thing. So it's like, it just does not work. So I do not believe in unlimited PTO. But what I've found also is it's also has to do with a financial aspect of how you represent that PA on your balance sheet. It's just a trick not to have that as a liability there. So it's really not done as an assistance to employees. And now this is not for every company. There are companies who has the unlimited PTO policy, that actually abide by the policy, but a lot more do it with the wrong motivations in mind. So I would rather have my 2-3 weeks that I know I can use than have that that vague idea that I can take whenever I want, and it's just really never given. I'm curious what Syya has to say though.
I'm like leaning in. I'm like, let me just tell you something. Okay, first off, I was in sales for 20 odd years, technology sales, and I can assure you there was no such thing as PTO. There's no such thing as a day off. If anything, we were basically quote lucky to be still employed every 90 days because that was our quarterly, quotas, right? So I'm just like, again, I'm biased from my perspective because in my world, PTO doesn't exist. Now, that being said, Is that an international thing where I know in Europe, for example, they take holiday. They go holiday and they're out, right? The month of what, June, July, August is like those months. Pretty much nothing goes down. Is this something that's even, is it better for us mentally? Because Americans, we just don't.
We don't disconnect. They have a better system of work life balance, and that's just the end of it. Like, if you speak to a lot of our European connections, you would see that they do have the time off, and you know they have that balance. They're able to achieve that balance. I mean, I have a friend in Germany, and his bosses actually force him, please go on vacation. Like, if they have, I don't know the way they track their systems, but if a few weeks go by and you don't take that time off, your manager will come to you and force you to take that time off. And that's the end of it. But we do have a different mentality here. Now, it's not a wrong mentality. I like to work. There is nothing, I like to be productive, but I want it to be on my terms. I want it, for me, if I want to finish a project, it's because I'm inspired to. It's because it's going to
Mhm.
benefit someone else, right? And so the motivation behind it makes a big difference. So I want to do it on my terms. I don't want it to be mandated or controlled or anything like that.
My gosh. Yeah, I knew CEO. You were itching to say some stuff. But, it's because it's so important. I mean, all these things, right? Things that people are talking about, but that really need to be brought up to light. So I know you're so passionate about certain things because you were in that world, Sia. So, hey, right? Might as well
Yeah.
talk about it.
Okay, there's a
Yeah.
question for Mary that I have. Mary, you just like, girl, I always feel like we got to get her on so she can just talk about it and throw it
Keyboard
up here.
warrior.
Okay, I actually on my other live stream I do on Tuesdays, it's a 15-minute show called Not on This Business Bites. Yes, I did a shameless self promotion, but we actually talked about this, or was it? Oh, wait, are we? Did we? Anyway, maybe it's this coming Tuesday show. Shh. And it's called Resumes and Interviews and Cover Letter or No Cover Letter. You guys, I don't know how I feel about that, Neela.
I had a post about this 2 days ago and I got a lot of positive reviews, but I got some pushback. I am advocating for cover letters.
Okay.
Um, why? Because we cut our process of hiring in half. So the process is you submit your cover letter, but there's a criteria. We want to know about you. We don't want to know about the qualifications. We want to know what you do, hobbies, what makes you tick in that cover letter. And it should be no more than 300 words. So you're submitting that cover letter, and then someone will pick that in your application. You'll get an interview, and then they put you to work, and you get paid work for 3 weeks where you're getting some sort of clearance and access. You're getting to actually work on the project and you're getting to interact with the teams. And at the end of the 3 weeks, you come back and you're selected or not. But you're getting paid. You, as a candidate, you're interviewing us. You're seeing if we're toxic and we're seeing if you're toxic. And we're just seeing, because with remote teams, collaboration becomes more important. And so we want to make sure that your collaboration is good, your communication is good, because the clients that we work with, they require that in order for projects to be successful. So for me, the cover letter, I love it. I encourage it. A lot of people disagree with me, but I would encourage it anyway.
Okay.
What do you think? Like, hell, I see your face there.
I've been so out of the game with actually applying anything, but remembering, I like the cover letter because it can be a very powerful tool to use because you can talk about you, right? Not just like what Dila said, like just your accolades or qualifications. You can actually inject some personality in there. So I like it. I'm for it for sure. But I know we can talk about this subject for so long. We could actually have like so many more shows. Can you believe it's like literally we're almost to the end of the
I was,
show?
I was just gonna type you discreetly like 5 minutes on,
Yes,
but
like I know.
I will say this: hedge your bets, right? What's the harm or foul of doing a cover letter? The worst they do is just ignore it and toss it and move along, right? Um, but I agree though; it's a great way to kind of assess someone's communication skills. a little bit of their personality, and see if they gel, right?
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, ladies. Well, as I did mention the time, we're running out of time, but I wanted to give you just an opportunity, Neela, to just say some parting words and then how people can reach out to you and see, the amazing things that you're doing.
Sure. So I appreciated you guys for having me here and Syya for putting this together. Really, really, really. And the tremendous support that I get on LinkedIn. I love it. I appreciate all of you for your time, for jumping on today. You know where to find me. You can catch me on LinkedIn, DMs. That's the best way to reach me. I love you guys.
Aw. Oh, aw.
Oh, by the way, yes, you gonna make me cry. Okay, okay, no, Raquel, hold your horses. You are an amazing individual. I told you this offline. I think you are on the path of changing so many lives because you're leading with your heart, right? Your authenticity shines and it speaks through your work and what you do. So continue on that path, Mila. You're going to inspire so many people along your way, and utilize that, utilize your platform, your network, to be able to duplicate those efforts, because that's the only way we're going to be successful together. That's the way, like Sia says, all ships will rise with the tide. So I thank you so much for having the time to come here and share your expertise, share your knowledge. And like I said, we could do 2 3 more shows with this. Who knows, you might be able to do your own live stream. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe in the future.
Yes, absolutely. In the near future, y'all. So there'll be Neela to go around for a lot. That spicy leadership is not going anywhere. And in fact, it's going to be, spicing up a lot of people's lives. So thank you again, Neela, for being here. We love you, we adore you, and I admire you. And, we'll be talking soon, okay? So everybody say thank you, Neela. Chime in the
Thank you
comments. Love
guys.
you.
Thank
So
you.
hang out for a little bit while Sia and I do some closing business. Yay. Oh my gosh. That was so amazing, Sia. Like, I am just so amazed by all the knowledge and everything that has been shared in this program and the comments, y'all. Like, you guys are amazing. Y'all had some really great input and questions. Let's see. What is Nicole? Nicole, the other Trinidadian, just like Neela, she's saying, "What awesome show! Your experience is just a part of the wonderful person you are. Your heart shines through." Absolutely. Isn't this what this is about, right? This is a community highlighting individuals who are actually making the difference and impacting people's lives out there, right? In this particular what stance, she's impacting the hiring, people who are job seeking. Not everybody is lucky enough to have been hired right now, but what can we do to help that process to be better for them and not affect their mental health in a pretty much in a negative way? So I just, Neela, thank you so much for everything that you're doing again. And then, Sia, anything you want to say before we wrap it
No,
up?
yeah, no. So that was a really deep conversation that it's just a reminder because
Yes.
again, if you haven't been around for the fun of 2008, it's
Mhm.
going to happen again in 2023, you guys. We know we're in a recession. We know there's going to be more layoffs. We know there's going to be a lot of movement. We know there's a lot of adjustments between just generational departures and people coming in. So this is a really great conversation. And Neela, I think what you're doing is extraordinarily empowering. So thank you very much. Um,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
so
ma'am. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what she's gonna, do in the near future and the impact that she'll have in the community. But okay, so moving on to one more thing before we leave. So during Mike's, was it Mike's show? Yes, on Wednesday. No, I forgot. No, no, no. This was the book challenge, right? Your picture photo bombing me, right? That I posted when I was holding Stephanie Delfonso's book. By the way, cha-ching, woo, here she goes. This is Stephanie Delfonso. So one lucky person uh, was, selected to win this book, and that lucky individual is. Are y'all ready? Are you ready to find out? Let me make sure I do say the name right because sometimes I do mess them up. Oh my goodness. Where is the person? There we go. It is Thomas Condell from the land down under in Australia. So it's Thomas Condell. So we will be reaching out to you to see how we can get this book to you. Okay. But yay, applause.
Yay, Thomas. I'm sorry. How do you spell Thomas's name?
Thomas, like Thomas, and then
Yeah.
Condell is Condell.
Oh, Condell. Okay.
Yeah. Condell, you know, butter.
There we go. Yay! Thomas. You like that? That was like, yeah, very good.
So he was one of the ones who, new followers to Raquel Flores Connection Corner. So yay, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. So this is my token of appreciation to you, that you win a copy of beautiful Stephanie Delfonso's, right? Goodbye Anxiety, Hello Freedom. There you
Great
go.
book.
I love it. It's a great book, by the way, y'all. If y'all haven't ordered y'all's copy, make sure y'all do it. And I'll have the actual link in the post as well. So anyhow, any parting words? I just wanted to say, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We do have to stick to time. This time around, I know I usually like to. What's up?
There is one more last thing you wanted to share. Did you forget already?
What is that? I don't know. What is it? Help me here, producer.
You're the one that texted me. You're like, I want to leap into collaboration weekend.
Oh, yes. That was so last minute, though. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so just to show you guys the power of the things that we do with collaborating, and we also have so much fun, though, but we get work done. Okay, so fun and getting work done. So, Syya, just show them a little glimpse of what we go through, like what we do, how our personalities, you know, the authenticity in collaborating, you know, just creates work.
Exactly. So more to come, guys. This is just a teaser, whatever it's called. It's so stupid.
Oh my gosh. Yo, I cannot believe that. You're like, wait. And I was just like, yo, y'all left the wine bottles over there in the middle of the driveway or the whatever, the walkway. And she's like, wait. And I started recording it. And it was just hilarious. She's like, I'm gonna jump over your head. I was like, okay, Syya, go. And that's what comes out of the shenanigans from the weekends of collaboration. So I cannot wait for the next one. There's just so much stuff that you guys, we did so much last weekend. It's crazy, and I can't wait to share. Wait to share it with.
I haven't cut through all that fun stuff yet, but no, more to come on that. But you know, guys, this was a great conversation. Thank you so much, Raquel. I love you. I love stressing you out. It pleasures me.
I see that. But anyhow, one last thing before we roll the outro, I wanted to thank everybody for being here. But also, don't forget Mike's show on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So he has great guests, and we send you a lot of love. You know, we love you. He's the creator of this community that we have. Okay. So anyhow, love you guys. Thank you for sticking it out and being here and always supporting. Just remember, my parting words to you today are, you are one connection away from positively changing your life. Okay. So go out there and connect, follow, and just mingle with people. All right. Love you guys. Have a fantastic weekend.
Thanks for joining us, and I hope our chat inspired you to make a new connection. Please like and subscribe, and let's build a great community in our little corner where we get serious business done by injecting fun. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, come back to Raquel's Connection Corner.